Okay, this is the Game is on 100 here with a quick video. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about not the Chicago Bears this time. I'm going to be talking about NFL news. I'm going to be talking about the Minnesota Vikings situation. So let's get started. As we all know, the Minnesota Vikings this is their last year coming up that they have a lease with the Metrodome in Minneapolis. It's being considered that the Minnesota Vikings wants to build a new stadium, or there might be a possibility that Minnesota will leave. The Vikings leave Minnesota and go out to LA because the NFL wants to have a team in LA. This is such a mess right now with the Minnesota Vikings. It was being reported that a bill for the Minnesota Vikings by the Local Government and Elections Committee passed a stadium bill on a vote of 8-6. The vote revised the struggling stadium bill just a few days after a House committee rejected a version of it. There might be the Minnesota Vikings may end up being in LA if that's in the picture. We'll just see what happens with the Minnesota Vikings with this season. How their stadium hopes are hoping. The owner Ziggy Wolf wants to have a new stadium for the Minnesota Vikings. They probably want an outdoor stadium because the Minnesota Vikings before they played in the Metrodome, they played outdoors. So let's just see what happens with the Minnesota Vikings. But if the Minnesota Vikings move to LA, because the NFL wants to have a team move over to LA, if the Vikings would go over there, what will the Vikings? Will they still be in NFC or AFC? The Vikings will still be the NFC. What they can do is they can do the realignment by putting, if they're going to do this, the NFL wants to keep them in the NFC. If they have a team in LA, what they can do is they can put the LA team, like the Vikings, be the LA Vikings. That sounds a little strange, but if it does come to LA, and if the Vikings do go move to LA, then they would have LA be part of the NFC West, and then taken out of the NFC West and put into the NFC North of the St. Louis Rams. They will be part of the NFC North. Because that will be much more of a fit, because if you would take because in the North you would have Green Bay, Chicago, Detroit, and St. Louis. That is a good region for the NFC North if they would go that route. We'll see what happens with this with Minnesota, but if anything that comes to it, if Minnesota does go to LA, LA is going to be a nice football town because LA loves their football. So I wouldn't mind the Vikings go to LA if there's something up with Minnesota. I don't know what Minnesota is going to do, but they got to think of something to keep football there. So anyway, there's just a little bit of news today from the NFL today about the Minnesota Vikings. So this is the Game is on 100. I am out. Later.